I am Alberto Rullan. Welcome to our channel all about equine. Another day in the life of an equine veterinarian. So today we're going to see a very interesting case. This particular case, back in the days, without regenerative therapy, it would have been very difficult to bring this horse back to athletic performance. So what we have is a horse that has suspensory ligament desmitis in 4 legs. And this is one of those things that requires a lot of time, energy, and dedication from the owner and trainer, because the rehab for this is ridiculously long. But one of the interesting things that we found is that we can do multiple treatments. For example, we have done multiple stem cell treatments, multiple amnion treatments on this horse, multiple PRP treatments, and now we're on the shockwave phase. And when I was in school, they told me that I could do only shockwave like 3 times, right? But what we have discovered is that the more we do it, the better it is. This particular horse, we could do 10, 15, up to 20 times, up to 20 shockwave therapies. They cause no harm, and as long as that tendon continues, this ligament, excuse me, as long as that ligament continues healing, or a tendon, if you're dealing with a tendon, you can continue doing shockwave, and we have found out that it provides excellent results. So I highly recommend it. If you want to learn more about this and about regenerative therapies, I have a very interesting ebook, and you can find it at albertorullan.com. That's albertorullan.com, free ebook. You can go to the webpage and get it, and you can learn about all these new regenerative therapies that we have been doing and that we're going to continue doing, because it's super interesting. So this is OBS, Ocala Breeder Sales. There are thousands of horses here being sold this week. We come every day, we take a look at the horses, make sure the horses are healthy, and the most important thing is that there's a lot of controversy in the racehorse industry about steroids and injections and mistreating horses. Well, one of the cool things is that what we do, about 90% of the things that we do is natural, homeopathic. We have absolutely zero harm to the horses, and biologic from the same horse. So a lot of the things that we do is taking the blood from the same horse and putting that plasma back in the horse. So that's how we are combating this bad press that some horses and the racehorse industry is having, by we tackling naturally, homeopathic, and with his own blood, which is amazing. So here's our little box. I carry a small box. I don't have a huge box. I keep things very simple. Extremely simple. We're gonna use a little bit of sedation. We call it dormosedan or the Tomlin. It's right here. Just a tiny little bit, 4 milligrams. 4 milligrams of dormosedan or the Tomidin. And then we're gonna do the shockwave. So here we're gonna get the machine that we loaded this morning. There are multiple shockwaves out there. Make sure before you buy your shockwave, you do some good research on which machine you're going to use, okay? Very important. So when you do the shockwave, you always use lube. We put lube and then we go right into the area that we want to attack, and you have to be careful because they do kick. They might kick, so we have to be very careful. If you know the anatomy and you know where are you doing it. If you don't, you have to do it facing forward and looking at the structure that we are shockwaving. So lubricant, Set up for the 1,000. We have already done one branch. Now we use 1,000, not E6. We're gonna reset it. Now it's ready, as simple as that. All we need to do now is hit play. This is the suspensory branch right here. We are attacking the suspensory branch right here as it goes into the sesame bone right there. That's what we're attacking. Good, now we're done. You can see here that we did 1,000 pulses. Gracias. Now we pack and go. So this is what we do. First, we leave the machine on. We remove the throat. I do this little trick. I put it around my neck. That way I don't get this wet. And then I go and find out whenever they have water. Got it. I forgot the code, but I got it. It's in my head. I've only been here 100 times in the last year. So what we just did was a lameness examination, and then because I know the history of the horse and I know this horse has some bone pain, we treat it with Osphos. Osphos is a medication that is particularly very useful for bone pain. It's called a biphosphonate. Interestingly, it was made long time ago for women with osteoporosis. That's where the biphosphonates, and then they have evolved, and we use it in horses quite a bit. In adult horses, we don't like to use it in younger horses because it could cause bone issues. But in adult horses, this particular horse is 17 years old with some bone pain. Osphos, great medication. This is one of the touchy topics of the industry, which is that you are the place having a fantastic time with the client and working on a horse, and all of a sudden a client calls you that he has an emergency, and you are the only one that needs to go and serve it. And that's a tricky point, but it's one of the things that we have to deal with. And you have to, what I do is I stay calm, right? And then I say, okay, what can I do to control this? What is on my control? I have to finish the appointment where I am because I don't want to be disrespectful. And then I close it, and then once I get out, I literally rush to this emergency. Another thing is, what is an emergency, right? What constitutes an emergency? And in this industry, we have this it's not written, it's like an underground law that an emergency is whatever the client considers is an emergency. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever the client considers is an emergency is considered an emergency. The animal might not be danger of dying. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they have a laceration, or they have a colic, or there's a mare that cannot give birth, or they have a fracture. But sometimes it's just what the client thinks is an emergency, and the client will freak out and wants you there now. And sometimes we have to attend it because it's very important not to just treat the horse, but to provide good customer service. And that is one of the toughest things that equine veterinarians have to deal with on a daily basis. That we get called for quote-unquote emergencies, and they are not emergencies. But we have to understand that we're there to serve the client as well. That's key. It's a very, very important key.
We appreciate that.
And just I can also even tell them what is the deposit requirement, because I don't want them to go there without that expectation.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
And I also tell them that they have to do a deposit. I don't know what your requirement is, but I tell them to always expect there is a deposit requirement. How much should they have ready for the deposit?
They usually 1,500.
That's pretty doable. That's pretty reasonable. So yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
All right, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. This vet was upset because I sent them patients. This is because they were short-handed, you know. That is the way the industry is sometimes they complain they don't have business. Sometimes they complain they have too much business and they get overwhelmed, and then that they cannot handle the business that comes through them. The most important thing is, if you're a veterinarian and you're overwhelmed with cases and you're overwhelmed with work, that actually might be a good thing. Might help you accomplish your financial goals. That's what we want. That's a very nice thing. This vet just called me and say, "Hey, I am loaded with calls. I am set. I don't need any more of your referrals." Noted. If you are an equine veterinarian and your life does not look like this, if your life look a lot more relaxed, you have a lot of time between patients, you're not seeing a lot of clients every day, I want to tell you one that is a good thing to be very busy. And if you wish to be busier, I want you to think about what can you do to add more value to your patients? What can you do to add more value to your clients? On my part, what was it was to make sure I maximize every opportunity to service the client, specifically getting as much continuing education as possible, as many skills as possible, so that the clients are happy with the service, plus that the horses get better. And yeah, of course, we don't all have perfect 100% scores, but the more you work on your skills, the more competencies you get, the busier you're gonna be, and the faster you're gonna be helping more clients, helping more horses, and reaching your personal, professional, and financial goals. That's my for the good.
Yes, yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
That's my future. So however we do it.
But that's what we want to do
Bob,
too. You know, every little component. That's exactly. I mean, that's why we bought this place, right? Whether it's horse or
So
human.
what do we do? Where
Well,
do we?
Let me talk to her. I'm meeting with her
Okay,
tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. She'll be back. We'll have. Yeah.
Rock
Good
star.
man.
Rock
Good
star.
vet.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. All right. And it's nice to have fantastic clients like that make you feel so good, make you feel appreciated, that want you to be part of their life. I mean, that is just priceless. Priceless. How did I do that? With years of effort, mastering my skills, making sure that I always add value to their horses, making sure that I always add value to them. That's it. You add value to the horses, you add value to them, and you develop fantastic relationship. I think that's the advice for the day. That's the biggest advice that I can give. This is blood to check the muscle enzymes so we can optimize our nutrition. Optimizing nutrition with blood work. We check our muscle enzyme, electrolytes, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, TPK, AST, all of them. Okay, getting close to the last appointment of the day. We are going to do Alpha 2M. It's a pretty new procedure. We call it orthobiologic procedure, orthobiologic product. We take blood from the horse, we process it, we get the plasma with this concentrated protein named Alpha 2, and we go and inject the horse's joint with it. 100% natural, love it. It's about 5:36. 5:36. We just finished with the day. I hope you got some value out of this day. Learn what an equine veterinarian does. I have to run and jump on a call for Rullan University, where we teach people every Monday at 6 o'clock on a mastermind. We teach them how to do everything that we did today.